So congratulations, Cayman. Now let's see if you can do it again with our 2023 predictions. Are you ready, sir?
Dude, I'm born ready.
Let's fucking go. What do you say you start us off?
Well, if my audience, and all two of you out there, I know that you want a buck wild prediction right off the bat. You said, Cayman, you're crazy for predicting that Microsoft buys Activision. You're a lunatic. Well, let me tell you guys, in 2023, pending the Activision acquisition, Sony will announce a quote unquote strategic partnership with Square Enix, essentially marking all new Square Enix games as first party exclusives only to Sony.
Interesting. So when you say strategic partnership, are you saying?
Oh no, they're just gonna say strategic partnerships, just like they did with Bungie. But no, this is a motherfucking acquisition, baby.
I see. Okay.
Wait for it.
Okay.
Once that Microsoft deal goes through, I can promise you, not even 2 months later, Sony's going to announce that they are essentially acquiring Square Enix. And the reason I say strategic partnership is because there's going to be games that that are already contractually obligated to be released. So they'll use a different wording to make things feel better, so people don't get shitty about it, because people will, obviously. But Sony will still do it. And guess what? These are two Japanese companies, and the FTC or the SEC has jack shit they can say about it.
Hell yeah. I love it.
Wait for it.
We're going to bring it back. I'm going to you're starting with a buck wild. I'm going to start buck wild too. You start with Sony. I'm going to start with Sony.
Let's do this shit.
In the year 2023, Cayman, Sony will announce a new console.
Okay.
It will be a handheld console. After the success of the Steam Deck and the Switch, Sony's getting back in the handheld game, baby.
I like that. Dude, I hope you're so fucking right, dude.
I think there's not a chance in hell.
I hope you're right.
But
I beat it too, baby.
But look, I mean, with the numbers that the Switch has done in its life cycle, and how the Steam Deck has been like the hottest thing on the market for gaming in the last like 4 months from a product perspective.
Mm-hmm.
I think the one thing that might sink the prediction is if PSVR 2 is a failure. If that's a total failure, then they might not have the money to try to like. But then again, I mean, if they're announcing it this year, it's well past the point where they would cancel. I would think. Yeah. But so we'll see.
We'll see. I like it though. I hope you're right. And you know what, Patrick? Why don't we just stay in the same vein? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Epic announces the launch of their own version of a portable game player akin to the Steam Deck, which will prove monumental when multiple publishers sign deals to Epic, preventing their games from being playable through Steam. The PC wars begin.
That would be insane. I love that prediction because Epic is insane enough to do it. They have so much money. That I could see, and like especially after their war with Apple, like I bet they're ready to just keep fighting.
Just start throwing hams.
Yeah, I love
it. They're not throwing hands, throwing hams, and just
I love it.
Fucking, they just got like a ham launcher, like they're at a fucking baseball stadium instead of shooting T-shirts. They're just fucking launching Christmas hams in the ground.
Sure.
Kid gets his head ripped right off.
So this one, I want to slow down the pace a little bit. We've already done some buck wild predictions, and I kind of want to reel it in a little bit.
Okay.
I want to reel it in and say, we've talked a little bit about the FTC and Microsoft. I'm going to go on record today.
Okay.
And predict. I think the FTC will successfully block Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard, citing monopoly concerns. I think they're going to block it.
All right. That's honestly buck wild, bro.
Do you think that's a buck wild one? I should put it in my buck wild.
I mean, yeah, I would say that's a buck wild.
Yeah, no, I guess you're right.
We've never seen anything. There's never been anything of that magnitude.
All right.
So like, yeah. But then
We'll see.
again, I mean, we've got like the Republicans control the House now. Like, I don't know. Then they're very much for just letting monopolies happen because that's how they make money.
Sure.
So,
Sure.
okay. Do you want? I don't consider this a buck wild prediction. Honestly, I don't even know which ones are buck wild anymore to me because
Okay.
they're all
Okay.
so fucking insane for my
Sure.
predictions. This is gonna go down like a wet fart. But hear me out. This is not an endorsement. This is not a salute. This is nothing of the nature. Hogwarts Legacy becomes the best-selling game of 2023, selling no less than 120 or excuse me, 12 million copies, no less than 12 million copies.
Can I challenge you to raise
Challenge.
that 12 million higher?
Okay, I'll do it. Where do you want to
Because
take
if
it
you
to?
think it's the best selling game,
Elden Ring closed out, I think, just over 15 million.
and was that the best selling game of this year?
Yep.
Okay, then never mind. I was thinking that the best selling game of this year was a lot more than 12 million. That's all
No,
I was saying.
I think it was like 15.5 million was Elden Ring. I mean, shit, I'll take it up to 14. I'll take it to 14. You want to take it to 14?
14
Let's
mil.
take it to 14. No less
14
than
mil.
14 million copies in the total of 2023. Hogwarts Legacy becomes the number one selling game of the year.
I would categorize that as not a buck wild prediction.
Yeah, I did, but it's still insane.
It's still, yeah, no,
it's still stupid.
I think you could definitely be right. I think the only game that could potentially keep that from happening is Tears of the Kingdom.
No, I don't agree. I don't agree. And the reason why I don't agree is because that is only releasing on Nintendo Switch. Hogwarts Legacy is going to be released on PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, or PlayStation 4, and Nintendo Switch and PC. It's releasing everywhere.
Oh, I know, but
and that's why I think that like this game is going to sell fucking gangbusters, whether we like it or we don't like it.
I agree
So,
that it's going to sell gangbusters.
opinion.
I just know that the Switch like first party attach rate is like insane.
Oh no, for sure. But I also just don't think I don't know. I like here's the thing. I'm basing a lot of this prediction on the fact that it's already done apparently ludicrous number of pre-orders. And like, let's be honest, man. Harry Potter, regardless of J.K. Rowling's bullshit opinion on all of the things that she has, because she's a fucking loser. And that is something I will stand behind. She is a fucking loser.
Sure.
This game still will sell dumb numbers.
It absolutely will. Here's an anecdote for you. I'm at a dinner party Saturday night, and there's some people there who are like, I don't necessarily want to call them casual gamers, but like they're people that don't play games as much as you and I do.
Sure.
And one of them was like, "Hey, are you going to pre-order Hogwarts Legacy?" And to someone else at the party, and they were like, "Yes." And so it was like a conversation that I'm in no way, shape, or part of, and they know that I have a video game podcast, and they're just separately talking about a Hogwarts video game. So like, I think you're probably right there.
I mean, this is a conversation from a different day, but like, I don't know. Like, I'm not a Harry Potter fan. I just like video games. So, but like, kind of watching that like, because they just did like a couple weeks ago, they just did like here's like a big expose about some of the different things in the game, and I was like, honestly, this game kind of looks cool. It just sucks that loser's name is attached to it. It's like that game actually looks cool, and it sucks for all the people that really worked hard to do that. And that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, Terry in the chat asks how many Switches are out there right now. Right now, the last reported number was 114 million Switches have been sold.
I don't think.
So, I mean, 15 million of 115 million is like 11% ish, which is a pretty big number. So, like, maybe I'm wrong that the attach rate.
Do you want to do a prediction on how many we think will be sold? This is completely arbitrary. We don't get any points. Well, I mean, yes, we could do points if we go plus or minus. Do you want to give a shot and see what you think the total number of copies of Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom will? Because it's also, you got to consider, it's also launching later than Hogwarts Legacy. I'm talking the complete entirety of 2023.
Sure. I would think Tears of the Kingdom sells more than 15 million copies this year.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to say 10.
Okay.
I think 10 million is a safe bet. I mean, 10 million is like, I mean, what was it? I'm trying to remember what the number was the other day when they had mentioned about God of War had only, or I think it was the first Horizon maybe, was like only sold at that point. And don't get me wrong, it's only on PlayStation, but it was like it had only sold like 13 or 14 million copies total since its launch.
Which game? Sorry,
I
I
think
was
it was
writing.
it was either God of War or Horizon Zero Dawn. And so don't get me wrong, those aren't Zelda. Also, Switch doesn't have that many games that aren't shovelware.
Right.
There's a lot
Yeah.
of bullshit on the Switch, but that's any Nintendo console.
Yeah. Yeah. My thinking, the one kind of thing that might make me wrong here is, so I just pulled up the number of copies Breath of the Wild has sold to date. It's 28 million.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much of that was the first year though. That
Well,
it could be that,
Breath of the Wild also released on the Wii U.
but there were 4 people that owned a Wii U, and you were one of them.
Yeah, I was, motherfucker.
So
I just always like being able to bring up that one awful factoid
yeah.
about myself, is I did own a Wii U.
Yeah. Let's see. Do I have any Zelda predictions? We can keep it on topic. I don't think I do.
I had absolutely zero Zelda predictions because I did not want to touch Zelda with a 10-foot pole because God fucking knows.
Well, I have a prediction. It might be, it is a Zelda prediction, actually. I do have a Zelda prediction, but it's a different Zelda game that I'm making a prediction on.
Okay.
So this is definitely not a Buck Wild prediction.
Sure.
This is a game that we have kind of been expecting to come to Switch for a very long time, and it still hasn't. I am predicting that 2023 is the year that Wind Waker finally comes to the Nintendo Switch. And I expect it to be the Wii U port.
Okay.
It's like the one Wii U game that's not been ported to Switch at this point. So like it just makes sense that at some point I think it's going to come.
Yeah. I think that's a solid safe bet prediction.
Yeah, I think it's a safe bet prediction probably. But hey, I need points if I'm going to try to knock you off the board next
You ready
year.
for a Buck Wild prediction?
Let's go, baby.
Microsoft announces their own version of VR that will be PC centric with future plans to become console compatible.
That is a Buck Wild prediction.
You know it's going to happen though, and it might not happen this year, might not happen next year, but within the next 3 years there will be a Microsoft version. It'll be it could be even just something as in my head when I made this prediction was they are going to release something like the Oculus Quest, but it will be something like Microsoft. It'll be like something PC, more PC, but then the plan is to be able to sync it to your console.
It could certainly be. My only concern is that they did that. I don't even remember what it was called. That like AR thing that was at
the Kinect Move.
Not Kinect. It was, man, what was it called? Kinect, that was a thing that they actually launched. This thing was never actually sold.
The thing
I'm thinking of. I can't remember what it's called, but it was at E3 one year, and it was Holodeck. Microsoft Holodeck is what it was called. And the thing at E3 that year was it was like a Halo experience where like you would wear these like glasses or whatever, and it was AR, not VR, so augmented reality. So it made you look like you were in like the middle of a pelican, and like there was like a war table happening, and like apparently it was cool, but like I think it was a concept because it never came out. So
I don't.
Yeah, Microsoft, they have the money to do it.
Yeah, and look, let's be honest, if Sony, Steam, everyone else is going to be digging into a hole by like trying to get into it, Microsoft's going to be right behind them. I mean, shit, fucking Nintendo has their own somewhat version of VR.
Yeah, you're right.
So,
yeah, I mean, they're the only ones left without it. So
exactly. Just
all right. Let me know if you think this one if you would categorize this as a Buck Wild prediction.
Anything that comes out of your beautiful, beautiful mouth is Buck Wild to me, baby.
Stop it. I'm making a prediction about Starfield.
Okay.
I think Starfield will be a bona fide hit. Seemingly the first time that a Bethesda game wasn't launched broken in my lifetime, receiving multiple 10s from places like IGN or GameSpot, paving the way for Microsoft's bounce back 2023.
Yeah. Okay.
Would you
You
say that's buck wild or no?
I I didn't think it was buck wild until you say that it launches as a 10. That is where I start to
That's specifically,
that's
yeah.
where
I think
is that
it'll launch as a 10.
can you look up real quick and find what did Skyrim launch as? Because Skyrim launched a buggy fucking mess, like absolutely fucking broken, and still got very good reviews. From
Fair.
from
Fair.
my
It got a 9.5 on IGN.
and it released broken as fuck. So like
Yeah.
I don't know
Well,
which one is more unrealistic, it releasing not broken or it releasing as a 10.
yeah, well, because I will say about Skyrim, we didn't realize it was broken until like 2 weeks later when we started getting 25 hours in on PlayStation 3 and we realized, oh, this game actually doesn't work anymore,
Yeah.
which is why I never finished it until like a year and a half ago. Um,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I would consider fuck it. Just leave it as a buck wild. That's fine.
no, if there's any
I don't have
consideration that
mine.
it's if there's any consideration that it's not buck wild, it's not buck wild.
I have I don't know. I don't really have I'm like looking back. I guess I have a couple buck wild ones on here. I don't really know what's a buck wild anymore, man. To be
I
completely
mean,
honest, there's when we look at actual news happening on a daily basis, it's really hard to be like this is a buck wild prediction because weirder shit has happened. Let's be
I
honest.
would say 2 of your 4, maybe 3 of your 4, I would say are buck wild.
Okay, cool.
So
Well, then let me go one step further, and I'm gonna make an announcement today.
okay.
G4 TV comes back
No fucking way.
again. Except this time it will not be a TV station. It will be YouTube Twitch centric. And they will bring in some, but not all of the people they had on the previous version. But it will be a version of Twitch where they will have the same shows and a YouTube channel where they have like multiple different series under the YouTube channel. But it will retain the name G4 TV and it will come back. It is not dead yet.
I could see that happening. I will say though, kind of like it being YouTube Twitch was kind of the selling point this time. It just eventually was put on TV. So
So
that
terrible prediction.
well,
You know what?
but
Throw my prediction out the
well,
window. I
no,
got
no, no,
three
no, no.
bonus predictions.
Well, no, no, no. I mean, if you want to cut it, you can. However, I think that like
I
I
thought
would
the
assume
whole
that they're
thing.
dead forever.
I thought the whole thing was is that they specifically came back so they would be TV again because they signed a
Well,
deal originally with Comcast and then
so
ended up on Pluto TV.
it was funded by Comcast, which is why it ended up being shut down. But it took a while for them to actually make it onto TV. It started for the first several months. It was just a Twitch channel and a YouTube channel.
Okay. Well, then you know what? Let's just throw that. That's not very fun.
Okay.
Let's do something weird.
I mean, I think it's fair to say that it would be very unlikely for it to come back, but it's
Let's
your
do
predictions. If you want to cut it, cut it.
let's cut that prediction because I don't think that that's worth having there.
Okay.
When I can pull from one of my bonus predictions because I was worried that we'd double up, and I have a feeling we might on at least one of these. Microsoft will launch no fewer than 5 games on Sony consoles.
Whoa. Okay.
And when I say 5 games, I mean they will literally have a slap sticker on it when you boot it up that says Microsoft Studios.
And this is new titles.
New titles,
like we don't
ports.
count like Minecraft, right?
No, well, Minecraft's already been released. So we're talking like just 5 games will be released this year.
Okay.
That will end up on Sony consoles.
Okay. I think we know of at least one already, which would be the. Well, actually, do we know if Hellblade is? Hellblade might actually be an exclusive.
It is an exclusive.
Okay. So yeah, no, I like it. I like this prediction. Okay. My next one, I'm gonna bring back a prediction from last year, but I'm reworking it a little bit.
Okay.
The prediction I'm bringing back is centered around the Mario franchise.
This is where I think that we might double up on a prediction.
Okay. This one, it's kind of a thick prediction. So if I need to like cut some of it so that you can also.
I mean, you might need to cut some just so you don't lose.
Well, sure.
Because that's bit you in the ass a couple times last year.
But it's fun to it's fun to add layers.
I love that idea though. Continue.
Nintendo will announce both its next 3D and 2D Mario titles this year,
Okay.
and at least one of them will be released this year.
Okay.
My not like officially part of the prediction, but just some additional thoughts. It can like my thinking on this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking that the 3D game will not be the Odyssey direct sequel, like I had said last year, but I'm not doubling down on that aspect of the prediction.
Sure.
But I do think that the 2D Mario game will have a new art style. Like, I don't think it's going to be like the last like 3 or 4 2D Mario games that have all had ever since the Wii. Like, it's been that same like cartoony.
Shitty art style.
I
Yeah, I
think
don't like
I,
that
I
art
think the
style.
next 2D game will look different. I don't know how it's going to look, but I don't think it's going to be in that same exact 2D style.
Well, then let me follow in your stead with
Okay.
an even bigger prediction. Nintendo announces the Switch 2, name pending,
Okay.
with Mario Odyssey 2 as its launch title.
Let's go. I almost did a Switch 2 prediction and I didn't.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I almost did. I think I had it like fully written up and then I ended up just cutting it. But I could see it happening for sure, especially since this leak rumor from a few weeks ago that they killed the Switch 2, or not the Switch 2, sorry. They killed the Switch Pro in favor of a new Switch, like a new console. So could be right. Okay. This one, I feel like it might be considered buck wild only because of other announcements around it.
Okay.
But I'm interested to hear what you think.
Sure.
From Software
Mm-hmm.
will announce a sequel to Demon Souls, and it will be very reminiscent of Elden Ring with true open world gameplay, not the linear
Okay.
gameplay of Demon Souls 1.
Okay. I see you, Patrick.
The reason why I think it might be buck wild is because they've already announced Armored Core, and I think we all kind of expect them to do a little more Elden Ring DLC.
So here's my question. This is my one pushback on that prediction.
Okay.
Who owns the name Demon Souls?
Ooh, is that? I might have already shot myself in the foot. Right.
Look, if you have a bonus prediction you want to throw in just in case, like I did,
Who
I
do
can
they?
give
They
you
don't
one
own
of
it.
my bonus predictions if you want.
They
I'll
don't
just
own the
slide it
rights
you.
to Demon Souls.
I don't know. I don't know who owns
Well,
the rights.
well, that is a good question because what if all right, here what if I do this?
Let me do my next prediction while you Google that.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I'm going to stick in the realm of Mario, so bear with me when I make this next announcement. Prediction: Mario Kart 9 officially announced. And not only is it officially announced, it is the official swan song of the Switch and will be ported sometime in the future to Switch 2. So it could be that they say Mario Kart 9 will release on the Nintendo Switch and you can play it on your Nintendo Switch 2 or something along those lines.
Sure.
Or maybe
Interesting.
both. Maybe both. It's like, hey, the Nintendo Switch 2 comes out in February of 2024, but in February 2024, whenever, like, we are releasing Mario Kart 9 and it will be playable on your Nintendo Switch right now. Something along those lines. So
Sure.
we can read between the lines there. But we
Okay.
do get an official announcement, and it is one of the last games that will be official. It'll be like the last like big game that is launched on the Nintendo Switch.
Okay.
This is the year the Nintendo Switch dies.
Okay. I wonder if, since we're only 4 additional packs into this 8-pack of Mario Kart 8, that's the only reason I wonder that perhaps this doesn't come true, but I hope to God it comes true because I want new Mario Kart so deeply inside me. Okay, I did my research. Sony does own the naming IP of Demon Souls.
You're welcome. I could have
Thank
just
you.
let you die on the
You could have.
grapevine there,
So
yeah.
now I'm at a crossroads. I'm like, do I want to say Elden Ring 2? Do I want to say Sekiro 2? Or do I want to just, because I brought like 14 predictions.
Okay, good. So you got the extras too. Cool.
So I'm gonna put a pin in that one
Okay.
and move on to a different one in case. And I'll kind of stew on that one a little bit.
Well, I need you to double up, I think. Right? You're gonna have to go
Yes,
back
I'm
to
gonna need to
back
do two.
prediction.
I'm gonna need to do two. So I'll go back to back right now.
Cool.
I'm gonna stick in the world of Nintendo since that's where you just were.
Cool.
And I'm gonna add on and say this will be, if you are correct about this being the last year of the Switch, this will be one of the biggest years in the history of the Nintendo Switch because we're going to be getting Tears of the Kingdom. In your mind, we're going to be getting Mario Kart 9. We're going to be getting Odyssey 2 and Cayman.
Yes.
So this is where my prediction begins. Nintendo is finally Cayman bringing back Star Fox. And we are getting a Star Fox game on the Nintendo Switch. And it's coming out in 2023.
I love it, honestly. Oh wow, we only have two predictions. Well, once you're done with that one, we only have two after this.
Really? I've only written down 6 for you. Did I miss one? Because we killed the G4 TV one.
6. I got 7. I got 7 on my list so far.
So we got 2023 Sony, Epic, Hogwarts. Microsoft announces VR. Microsoft will announce no fewer than 5 games on a Sony console. Mario Kart 9. What am I missing? Oh, Switch 2. Switch 2. That's what I'm missing. Okay.
I mean, I've got 2 more. I got 2 more bonus predictions we can just throw out into the void if we want. But
yeah. Okay. So yeah, so I'm right now at 6. So I need to do one more. You know, this might be a softball. But I think Sucker Punch has been too quiet for too long, Cayman. I think the next game in the Ghost of Tsushima franchise will be revealed to be coming in the year 2024.
Okay. I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah. I support that decision.
I put that one in one of the regular predictions.
I think that's a solid prediction. You know,
so
I
we
played
both have done 7.
I want to say I played Ghost of Tsushima when I had COVID the first time.
Ugh, rip.
Yeah, R.I.P. Cayman.
Yeah. Gone too soon, but not
only the first time. A few more lives left in me, apparently.
Yeah. All right, your next one.
Okay, my next one. I'm gonna go to Xbox this time.
Okay.
Xbox delays more titles this year and only launches 3 first-party AAA games. And I want to put the emphasis on AAA games. We're not talking about Xbox exclusive indie games that are coming to Game Pass. We're not talking about that. The 3 games, and I have the 3 games: Redfall, Forza, Starfield.
So you think Hellblade doesn't make it this year? Interesting.
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
So you said Starfield, Redfall,
Forza.
Okay.
Or is it Forza?
Forza.
Fucking stupid name.
Okay.
There's Evan Brando. I can punch him in his Italian mouth.
I am going to counter your prediction here.
Oh shit! All right, you gotta wait. Is this a bold prediction off the head, or is this one you actually have?
This is one that I actually had that I considered cutting, but I'm gonna go ahead and use it.
Okay.
Even if I am correct that the FTC in fact blocks Microsoft's purchase of Activision Blizzard, even if that happens, I think this will be the biggest year for Xbox in like recent memory, because let's be honest, they've had a rough several years.
Dude, if they release 3 games this year, it'll be the biggest year in Xbox history.
Well, I think the way that I'm quantifying this, because you can't really quantify like, oh, I think it's going to be the biggest year ever for Xbox. I think at the end of 2023, titles released on Xbox as exclusives compared to titles released on PlayStation as exclusives, Xbox will have the higher Metacritic average than PlayStation. That's the way I think I need to quantify it. But I think that this will be a huge year for Xbox. I think finally a lot of their games are going to finally come out, and Starfield, Redfall. I do think Hellblade's coming. Forza. Like I feel like this is going to be like this year. They didn't release a big AAA game, and I think it's because they're all coming in 2023.
Okay.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong. I mean, Forza always scores high. And we're assuming Starfield probably will also do like a normal Bethesda game and release high. Redfall is the one place where I'm like, that one might not be. Hellblade
Sure.
is another one where I just don't foresee Hellblade coming out this year. I know that they've said it, but like I think in Microsoft's head, if they can release at least 3 games this year, like that's better than they've done the last
Sure.
several.
Sure, but then I mean, we got Babylon Drifter in the chat. He's getting an Xbox just to play Starfield. So if as long as Starfield comes out, he's happy.
Yeah,
And
that's
I
totally
think
fine.
yeah, and I think we're gonna get a lot more on Xbox this year, but we'll see.
I just wish that Xbox let me use a PlayStation controller. I just really don't like Xbox's controller. Like it just doesn't. I got like. Here's the thing. I got a tiny head, which we've acknowledged before. But my hands, I've got significantly bigger hands. But still, I don't know. It's just not as comfortable in my hands like an Xbox controllers that a place. I don't know. Maybe I'm weird. But like even the Switch feels too bulky to me.
Okay,
When
now
I'm playing
that
a
that
handheld.
then I'm like, okay, now I okay, maybe you got crazy baby hands then. If the
Maybe
Switch
I
is too
do.
if the
Maybe.
Switch is too bulky for you, because that thing's a little toy.
Next time that we are in person, let's compare hand sizes and then
Okay.
let's compare other sizes. If you
I
know
would
what I mean, baby.
I would love to compare any size you want.
I love it.
Cayman, what's your second to last prediction?
Second to last prediction. The Last of Us multiplayer game
God damn it.
gets a fall 2023 release date and will come alongside the announcement of The Last of Us Part 2, which will launch.
Part 3, you mean?
Or sorry, yeah, Part 3 will launch in 2024. No release window announced. So we don't know when in 2024. They're just saying 2024. It doesn't. We won't know if it'll actually come out in 2024, but that's what they're going to say the game will come out.
So to clarify, Factions 23, Part 3 24 will be announced this year.
Yes, there will be. We will get both of those announcements. I like to think that we're going to get like a PlayStation Direct, or not Direct, a PlayStation State of Play, where they will do a full-blown like deep dive into the Last of Us Factions or whatever the multiplayer game is going to be called.
Yeah,
eventually.
it's not going to be called Factions.
Yeah, but whatever it is called.
Yeah.
That's why I left it vague on what the name is, because we don't really know. I think we just know it's a multiplayer game. And then like the one more thing, and they'll say, and it'll just be like a splash screen.
Sure.
And it'll say The Last of Us Part 3, and it'll just say 2024. That's it.
So this is interesting because my prediction is different than yours. So I kind of want to go ahead and just do it.
Fuck yeah. Let's have battling predictions on one specific topic.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah.
So, and the reason I want to kind of ease into my prediction with my why.
Okay.
Last week or earlier, no, I guess it was late last week. Naughty Dog showed us the second piece of concept art for The Last of Us Factions. And only seeing the second piece of concept art sent alarms a buzzing in my brain.
Really?
Which is why I think we will hopefully get a trailer for The Last of Us Factions this year. And when and if we do, they will say that it's releasing in 2024. And even though we know it's a multiplayer game, the trailer will highlight that it has a story to tell.
I like that. Yeah, that's a good prediction.
Now,
I don't know if I like the 2024 part of that prediction because it goes against my prediction, but sure.
I honestly struggled with this prediction because I was like, they've only shown us 2 pieces of concept art, but they've been working on this game for a fucking long time.
I know. That's why I really do think that it's coming this year.
I hope so. And Neil Druckmann has said that this is going to be the biggest year that The Last of Us has ever seen. So, I mean, we would think if he says that, then like a game's being released.
But and I do think that like that's like a really big thing that they can do is like the season finale of The Last of Us part, like the first season of The Last of Us. They're not calling it Last of Us Part 1 for the first season. Or at least we don't. Maybe they will. It'll be retroactively called that later. But I do think like, look, if you're gonna do it, like that is the biggest announcement. Is like at the end of the season finale of season 1, they drop like a trailer for The Last of Us multiplayer game.
Sure.
Like, that'd be
awesome.
fucking dope.
Yeah.
I'd be in for it, man. I want to be
see.
on that episode of nothing.
God,
of nothing. We
right,
can.
yeah, of something that we're going to be talking about very soon, maybe.
Oh my god, yeah.
All right, Cayman, your last prediction.
My last prediction. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
This might be buck wild.
This might be.
Metal Gear Solid gets an
God,
official remake,
you bitch.
and Castlevania returns. But huge but here. The fans of the series are furious over what the game looks like. Konami once again ignores fan wishes.
So, Metal Gear Solid and Castlevania are being brought back by Konami, and people are pissed.
Yes.
Okay.
Not
Okay.
pissed at the Metal Gear Solid remake portion. And they
Specifically
might
the
be,
Castlevania.
but they're definitely going to be pissed when Castlevania gets announced and it does not look like what they want it to. In my head, what that sounds like is we're going to end up with like another Lords of Shadow situation, which honestly, I enjoyed those games. But people were like, we want the normal Castlevania games, which, like, I don't know. Sure, if you want those, but like, I think we're going to get a Dark Souls style Castlevania game.
I mean, that in and of itself is a pretty bold prediction without the Metal Gear part.
I mean, I can remove the Metal Gear part.
Well, no,
if you
no, no.
want.
I mean, you got to before I did.
You said, "God damn it!" So if you want, I don't mind adjusting.
No. You got to before I did. I'm gonna say, but I'm not gonna predict it. I'm gonna say what I was going to say if you didn't just predict Metal Gear. I was gonna say I'm doubling down on my prediction from last year that we will be getting a new Metal Gear Solid game. It'll be a remake of the original, developed by someone that is not named Konami. Was going to be my prediction.
I mean, that's still a pretty good prediction, and that still could very well happen.
It could.
It might be more logical to go with that prediction than mine, honestly.
It could.
It could.
But then, I mean, looking at, so I have 3 other ones. And I feel like 2 of the 3 are, one of the 3, actually, I don't know that any of these are going to happen as I look at them right now. I don't know what to do. All right. I'm going to swing for my heart on this one. And then I want to talk about what these other ones that I was going to say were, just because I'm having fun with this conversation. The Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake will be announced to be in the hands of a new developer. They will not commit to a release window, but if they do, they will not say that it's before the year 2025.
Okay.
How do we feel about that?
I mean, I think that's a smart move.
Do we, though? I kind of feel like it's just going to silently die. I just hope that it doesn't die.
No,
All right.
honestly,
what if we do this, Cayman? Because this is our show and we make the rules. Why don't you pick my prediction for me based on these 4 that I have?
Okay.
So I've already said 2 of them. The Metal Gear one, now this KOTOR one.
Okay.
My third prediction, Resident Evil 1 is going to get a full ground up remake. Because it's weird to me that we've only gotten 2, 3, and now 4. Why did we skip 1? And then my final prediction, Bloodborne will finally get its full remaster / next gen upgrade. It will not be a remake. Those were my 4 remaining ones.
Okay.
Maybe I stick with Bloodborne because I tried to do the Demon Souls one earlier and I had to go back on it because I am an idiot.
Repeat the other ones to me because I don't like the Bloodborne one. I do think we'll get a full actual remake of that.
Okay, interesting. So Metal Gear developed by someone that's not Konami.
Yeah.
KOTOR, someone else is taking over development.
Uh-huh.
Resident Evil 1 is also getting a full ground up remake.
I like Resident Evil 1.
Or I could adjust my Demon Souls one earlier and just say we get Elden Ring 2.
I think Elden Ring 2, it gets announced. It doesn't get.
Yeah, it'd be an announcement.
Yeah, it's like a teaser, not like an actual.
It'd be an announcement.
We don't see any gameplay. I like Elden Ring 2, and I like Resident Evil 1. I think the KOTOR one makes a ton of sense. I do think KOTOR is going to be taken over by someone else. I don't think that game's going to die.
Okay. Then I'm going to do Elden Ring 2 because that is the most close to the one that I had already started to say earlier in the show. And also I feel like it'd be pretty wild of them to announce Elden Ring 2 when so soon after Elden Ring. But
Do you want to hear my 2 bonus predictions?
Yes, I would
My
love
2
to hear your
remaining
two.
ones. So the first one is this is a little bit of a weird one and is really tech heavy, so like it's not very, very fun.
Okay.
Saudi Arabia's Savvy Gaming Group will outpace China's Tencent as the largest investor in gaming to date, becoming the dominant stakeholder in multiple large publishers.
Is that they're not Embracer? Embracer is someone different. They're Swedish, right?
Yeah, I think Embracer's Swedish.
Okay.
Yeah, Savvy is Saudi Arabia. They have announced that they're gonna do some like huge sweeping like stake and shit. But
Interesting.
I do think like by the end of 2023, they will outpace Tencent. So that's my first prediction. That's our first bonus prediction. Second bonus prediction, this is bigger, which is Metroid Prime 4 is finally given a release date for 2024, and it will launch exclusively on the Switch 2 or whatever
Ooh,
the new
okay.
Switch will be called.
I
So those are my
almost said a
2
Metroid
bonus
Prime
ones.
one. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
no, I
so
like that.
yeah.
I like that before the Switch 2 one because I don't know that I agree that we're getting a Switch 2 this year announcement.
You don't think we're gonna okay. Okay. Well,
But
Well, I
I
mean,
hope I'm
here's
wrong.
the thing: is that my whole prediction is contingent upon the fact that we do announce
Mm,
Switch 2.
sure, 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 sure. Here's the reason I don't think we're going to get a Switch 2, and then let's talk about our big, big announcement. The reason I don't think we're going to get a Switch 2 is because in that little like leak rumor thing that I've already mentioned a couple times this episode, part of that was they were talking about how Nintendo is really struggling with the like fear of a Wii U again, like
Mhm.
following up on the Switch. They're really taking their time, is what it sounded like. The rumor said they're taking their time because they don't want to miss again. Because as we said earlier to Terry's question, it's already sold almost 120 million copies. They want the next
So
one to do that
yeah.
or
So
better.
here's my thing though is that I think the Switch 2 was a definite miss. But I do think the
Wii U.
Switch 2 or sorry, the Wii U was a definite miss. But I do think that like without the Wii U, we wouldn't get the Switch.
I
Like
think
we
you're right.
have to have the Wii U to get the Switch, right?
I think you're right.
So I think it makes sense to do. And honestly, in my head, you know what the Switch 2 looks like?
The fucking Switch.
It looks just like the Switch, except it looks like the Switch, except it's closer in size to the Steam Deck.
And
It's going to
fucking
be able to give you HD shit. It's going to look much better. Play
and
bigger games. Yeah.
and Nintendo, stop being cowards. Just call it the Super Switch.
Oh my god, please, yes.
Like
Oh
like
my
we all
god.
want it. It's right there.
It is so right
The
there.
majority of your install base knows what a Super Nintendo is and are fond of the console. Just fucking double down, dude.
Double down, baby. But
I
yeah, I
know
definitely
Reggie's not
look.
there anymore, but Reggie,
Here's
do it.
and this is why I think that this announcement makes sense. March 3rd, 2017, the Nintendo Switch launches.
Mario Day.
Okay.
No, Mario. That's the 10th. Continue.
Okay. March 3rd, 2017, the Nintendo Switch launches. An average
Mm,
console lifespan is 7 years.
yeah,
Here it is
we're
on a
we're at,
silver platter for us.
we're at 6, so it makes sense to announce it.
2024, March 2024 is year 7. When do you announce that you can purchase this? It's going to be sometime in early fall, August, September is when you're going to want to be like, guess what, boys? Get ready. The
Okay.
Nintendo Switch 2 launches in March or April of 2024.
I hope so. I that would be awesome if it does. I also like thinking back to previous console cycles. Like I feel like by now, if the Switch 2 is happening though, like there would be like dev kit rumors, like there'd be code name
Well,
rumors.
I think the thing is, though, is like Nintendo is way more buttoned up,
That's true. That's true.
way more buttoned up than Sony or Xbox.
Sure.
Like,
That's true.
so I wouldn't be shocked. I would say it will probably start to get some rumors or some leaks about this probably in the next few months. If it's going to come, that's when the
Sure.
leaks, if they are leaks, that's when they're going to start happening.
Okay. Well, there's only one way to find out if you're right or if you're wrong, and that's to continue watching the Spotlight Games podcast. But Cayman, What if I told you, and what if I told our audience that they might be able to watch more things, or listen rather to more things this year than just Spotlight games?
I would say you're a lunatic. How
What if I
dare you?
told you
Yes.
that we, as of tomorrow, if you're watching live, as of tomorrow, you can get the preview episode 0 of our newest podcast, Spotlight TV, hosted by Jeremiah Parker Hobbs. Let me open this up. I should have had
Who
this prepared,
didn't
but I
who
didn't.
didn't show up to announce his
Yeah, this
fucking
fucking guy.
podcast?
This fucking guy. I tell you what, I'm like, hey, you want to come talk about your fucking podcast? And he's like, yeah, dude. And then he ghosts me. Real great start to the pod, Jeremiah. I'm just kidding. Spotlight TV. I'm fucking excited about it. Basically, what we're doing is we're going to be doing a deep dive, one show at a time. Going to be hosted by Jeremiah. The first season is going to be all about The Last of Us on HBO. He's going to be hosting, and Cayman and I are going to be sitting in the second and third chairs. Don't know what's going to be happening after The Last of Us. That's up to Jeremiah, but he's already said we're going to be talking about Succession later in the year. We're going to be talking about Secret Invasions, or singular or plural, whatever it's called, later in the year. MCU, HBO, anything is game other than those two. But every week that there's an episode, we're going to deep dive on it. We're going to talk about it, give our reactions, review it, talk about what we think is going to happen, what we hope is going to happen. And it's going to be every Wednesday, starting tomorrow with the preview episode of The Last of Us. So go to your favorite podcast app, give it a search. Hopefully it shows up by now, but it might not. But we're going to be doing some shouting out of this every time there's an episode. So if it's not up for you right now in your favorite podcast app, hopefully it will be within the next couple of days. Sometimes those things take some time.
Yeah, and I think it is worth pointing out that we also will be launching the episode 0 on both the Spotlight Games feed as well as the Save Trash Cinema feed. So even if the podcast isn't up on its own feed, you can get it here and you can
Great
get
point.
it on STC. So wherever you want to listen to it, whichever feed works for you, the episode will be live there.
Hell yeah. Yeah, no, this, we talk about it on this week's episode of Save Trash Cinema. It was kind of kismet. Like several weeks ago, we talked about, I was like, I really want to do a Last of Us podcast spinoff. And that day, Jeremiah texted me, was like, hey, and he doesn't watch this show. He's not a gamer. He doesn't support us with this endeavor. He really, all he does is talk shit about it. But he was like, hey, I want to start a podcast about TV. And I want the first season, because I want to do season by season of shows. And I want the first thing to be The Last of Us. And I'm like, dude, I love you. Like that, we were just talking about how we wanted to do this. And now you and I have to do like no work for it. How great is that, Cayman? It's all on Jeremiah.
Honestly, that's the only reason I'm supporting this, is that I don't have to do it.
Exactly. But yeah, so hope you're excited, because we very much are. And Spotlight TV pod at Gmail is the email address. And you can find them on socials at Spotlight TV pod as well. Write into Jeremiah, let him know what shows you want him to cover this season, because I know I'm going to be bugging him about shows I want him to cover. So I'm very excited, and I hope you guys are too.
Also, I want to do one last announcement before we get off the air. I know we've been running a little bit long, but this week is AGDQ. I don't know if you guys don't know what AGDQ is. It is a speed running marathon that goes the entire week starting Sunday. It started this past Sunday and ends this upcoming Sunday. All of the proceeds and for donations that get donated to AGDQ during the marathon, which runs 24 hours for 7 straight days. All of that goes to the Prevent Cancer Foundation. It is a wonderful, it's a wonderful marathon. If you're into speedrunning or just gaming in general, you want to see games get broken to their absolute most. It's great. The hosts are fantastic. The runners are fantastic. And it is arguably, this is like Christmas for me every year when we get AGDQ and SGDQ. So if you haven't, they're streaming live right now on Twitch. Go check them out. Or you can go to their YouTube channel where they do post afterwards. We will be donating. So I do recommend everyone else as well. It doesn't matter how much you give. It all goes to the Prevent Cancer Foundation. So it's a fantastic way to support some great people, both viewing and not viewing. And it's just a wonderful time.
Oh yeah. Fuck cancer.
Fuck cancer.
Well, that's our show, folks. I hope you had fun. Let us know what you predict for the calendar year 2023 in the world of gaming. maybe I'll write them down for next year when we do this, because Jade Suits let us down. Didn't come to us this year. So I hope someone else in the audience does, that I can just mock 12 months from now. But Cayman, I had a great time. I hope you did too. I hope folks in our audience, thank you, Terry. Thank you, Babylon Drifter. Thank you, Mouth of the South, Liz McLean, making a late appearance to the pod. Or at least if she was here earlier, she didn't say anything, which is just fine. You don't have to say anything if you're here, but it makes me happy when you do. But I'm going to go. Who knows what I'm going to go do, Cayman, but it's not this.
It's not this.
But it's not this. So until then,